3 years ago, when President Biden addressed the UN General Assembly, he promised to restore the kind of American leadership he believed Donald Trump had abandoned. In his speech this morning, billed as a legacy-defining moment, he outlined various global crises and highlighted the U.S. response to each. He emphasized that full-scale war is not in anyone's interest, stressing that, despite the escalation of conflicts, a diplomatic solution remains the only path to lasting security. His goal, he said, is to allow residents from both countries to return to their homes safely, with the U.S. working tirelessly to achieve this. However, questions loom large over America's global leadership, particularly regarding the Biden administration's role in Ukraine and the Middle East. Biden's strategy has focused on securing a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. The chances for a hostage deal seem dimmer now than they did in the summer. In fact, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has warned that the risk of a regional war has never been greater, describing Gaza as a non-stop nightmare that could engulf the entire region, with Lebanon on the brink of being drawn into the conflict. He cautioned that the people of Lebanon, Israel, and the world cannot afford for Lebanon to become another Gaza. Despite these grave concerns, U.S. diplomacy appears to have limits. Privately, the White House admits there's little it can do to persuade Israel to change its approach. Diplomatic influence for now seems constrained. In New York, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Robert Wood acknowledged the challenge. He confirmed that while the U.S. delegation had come prepared to present concrete plans for de-escalating the situation in Lebanon, those plans are still being worked out. Wood emphasized that the primary focus is finding a diplomatic solution to allow both Israelis and Lebanese to return to their homes safely, with ongoing conversations among partners about how to stabilize the region. President Biden continues to stress that diplomacy is the only viable path forward despite the ongoing violence between Israel and Hezbollah. Wood agreed, noting that statements from both sides, Israel and Hezbollah, vowing to continue attacks are unhelpful and risk escalating the conflict. No one wants to see this reach another level, Wood said, reiterating the need for international efforts to lower tensions. Meanwhile, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg weighed in on a different crisis, Ukraine's ongoing war with Russia. He reacted to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's plea to allow Ukraine access to long-range missiles to strike deeper into Russian territory. Stoltenberg supported this, saying that under international law, Ukraine has the right to self-defense, which includes striking legitimate military targets on an aggressor's territory. He noted that several NATO allies, including the US, have eased restrictions on the use of such weapons, and he welcomed ongoing consultations among allies on the issue. Stoltenberg dismissed concerns that such actions would lead to Russia viewing the West as actively waging war, arguing that the biggest risk would be if President Putin succeeds in his aggression. According to Stoltenberg, ensuring that Ukraine has the tools to defend itself is essential to forcing Putin into negotiations and securing Ukraine's sovereignty. President Zelensky arrived at the UN prepared to present President Biden with what he described as a path to victory for Ukraine. While the details of this plan have yet to be revealed, it underscores Zelensky's determination to secure a win for Ukraine in the near future.